Okay, so I thought let's go ahead and do an update. It's been about a month. It's been on and off extremely hot weather, and I just have not been out here very much. I take care of the garden, but I'm not out here. So things have grown, and my neighbors are having a birthday party or something, and I think that's awesome. I'm glad somebody's having fun around here. So, like I said, we've had on and off extreme sun and heat, which is so abnormal for this part of the region. So the hydrangeas that once looked absolutely gorgeous are struggling tremendously. They're just not used to it. Let's go over and take a look. So, well, let's see. There is a little new bloom right down here. So they're usually white with a little blue center. And then as they age into October, November, they turn really chartreuse and magenta. It's extremely early for them to be doing this right now because, well, it's early, but they're doing it because it's just been so terribly hot. Endless summer, which once looked stunning and gorgeous, well, it's taken a real beating. But this is how the blooms age out. So they start out as this beautiful pink, and then they progress into this gorgeous blue and purple. And then as they age, for instance, for drying or whatnot, this is what they turn into. And they're still gorgeous. Look at the lavender and the chartreuse. For those of you that are tie-dyers, you know what I'm talking about. And then this was my beautiful, shiny, glossy, I don't know what kind it is, but hot pink hydrangea. It got annihilated. It gets the most sun. It's right in the middle, so when the sun first comes up, it gets a little morning sun on this side. And then as the sun goes down, it gets more sun on the other side. So this one probably gets the most abuse out of all of them. And you can just see. It shouldn't be doing this, but it's still gorgeous. I had to come and cut back a lot. So let's see. Like you can see my little cuts all over. So when you prune your hydrangea, you want to prune to where there's a node, like a new bud. Otherwise, you're going to lose next year's growth. And it might even push some new growth this year. Like there's a lot. When we first started 4 weeks ago, the plant was that little. And now look at how much growth it's put on. And I like to plant my hydrangea to where you can just let them do their thing. I don't want to do a lot of pruning, for one. And also I feel like it really, it just changes the plant. Hydrangea don't like to be pruned, but they can be pruned. All right, now look at this beast. Do you guys remember how small it was a month ago? This thing turned out to be a monster in comparison to the others. Wow. All right, let's get into the garden. So there's the celery. The sun is just now coming out. But look, looks like celery to me. I've never grown it before. I'm not sure when I'm supposed to cut it. So I'm just gonna keep letting it do its thing. The onions, they've been trampled. Whatever comes through here at night has just stomped out the tops. And I've picked a couple and I put them in spaghetti sauce and they were delicious. So the butterfly bush got annihilated by the heat. I started to deadhead it and then gave up. It's just been way too hot. But look at all the growth. It's like a jungle, right? So let's come down here. So these are just the generic green jalapenos. And the plants are just full. They're everywhere. And it's time for me to come out and start harvesting. Let's see if I can get in here. And can you see all those? And each one is just covered in them. Let me look at, can you see that one? Let's see. Look at all those. It's time. Sorry, every time I bend over, my nose runs. So this is my row of the jalapenos here that are color coordinated. They're all still green. The black mamba here, it fell over. And so I had no choice but to stake it up and then pick everything because it was down on the ground. It was just too heavy. So I took those. But like for instance, let's go over here. That first one's supposed to be a bunch of little red peppers. So in order to get them red, I'm going to have to just keep on letting them grow. And then just recently, yesterday, I came out and this entire green pepper broke off right there. And I lost, I'd say probably about 6 giant peppers. Like, look how big these are. But by the time I realized that it was broken, it had already been down for too long. But getting lots of peppers. It's hard for me to record and see at the same time because the sun is in a bad spot right now. It's been gray and overcast all day long, and then all of a sudden, but look at this one. Can you see? I don't know. No, you can't see. Oh, well, that's a bummer. Sorry, I'm not a camera person, you guys. I just grow. There it is. Can you see it? I won't know until I go in. But yeah, I mean, huge peppers. Peppers everywhere. I should have came out here an hour ago. There was 0 sunshine. This one is supposed to be orange, which means I'm gonna have to let them keep going because everything is green. And this one's supposed to be red. Well, we'll see. Ooh, that sun is hot. So you guys remember the little runt? I'm not sure. Should I be coming from the other direction? Let's see. All right. So that was the runt. It's doing really well. And then these guys have gotten huge. I don't know what's going on with the hummingbirds today. They've been buzzing my head. I checked their feeder. It's got food. I need to go up to the store and get sugar. So I lost one of the zucchini plants and I had to replant. Lowe's was having a big sale, so I said, well, whatever. They were trying to liquidate all their vegetables, so I grabbed one, put it in. It may not produce. We're so late into August. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get tomatoes. But yeah, everything's doing good. I got some little zucchinis in here, see? And, you know, in 6 hours, they're going to be gigantic, and I'm going to wish I would have picked them. Some squash. I'm not getting the yield that I normally do. The snap peas, I think I just planted them in the wrong location. The cucumber has gotten humongous, and it's making the biggest cucumbers that I've ever grown in my entire life. And the tag just says burpless, which means it's not going to give you the burps, right? I've never had cucumbers grow so long. Like, look at this. Like this morning, this was like half that size. They're huge and they taste really good. I think there's a couple down here I need to pick. Let's see. Oh, there's another squash. So you come out and water in the morning and then you come in the afternoon and they're just huge. Squash they grow like weeds. Yeah, see? Look, can you see those? I got a huge cucumber there and another huge one here. And I ended up planting 2 more plants right here and right here, but they've not taken off at all. So I doubt they're going to produce much food. There's the big beef or beefsteak or whatever. So that little plant there was originally a orange grape tomato. It did not survive. So when Lowe's was having their sale, I planted another one, and I honestly couldn't tell you what it is. Cherry tomatoes, got some. I need to pick them. I've picked a couple of the early girls. Tomorrow that one will be nice and ready to go. Did I already talk about the Roma? The Roma died, so I got another one of the cheapy ones for here. Couldn't tell you, but whatever. Oh, let's see. Bumblebee. They were late to the game this year, but now that they've arrived, we're starting to get some pollination. And then the green beans, well, they've just completely filled in this entire trellis that I made, but not a hint of green beans yet. So the scarlet runner beans have been getting these gorgeous red blooms, and the hummingbirds love them, but the regular green beans, nothing. No blooms. Just a lot of green growth. And I've been really horrible about fertilizing this year. It's been too hot. I'm not used to it. Born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, where it's usually raining all summer long. You know, so it's like 100 degrees. What? I can't even take it. All I can do is water and then try to survive. For those of you that live in Arizona and Texas and Florida and all those places that are extremely hot, North Carolina, wherever, those places, I know you think I sound ridiculous. I'm just not used to it. So I don't know how you do it. So the little butterfly bush that was like this big, now look at it. It's doing really well. By next year, it will be big like this. And I pruned the heck out of this one. So I got a lot of green fruits in here. I don't know what can be seen because I can't see anything. The sun is totally in my eyes. Lots of green fruits. Look at those. I mean, those are big ones. Now I just need them to have enough time to turn red before it gets cold. All right, so, goodness, this is a lot, you guys. Okay, so the dahlias, I never did come out and stake them up proper. You can see this one here is laying down on the ground. I did try to come out and stake them after the fact. This purple one, which is absolutely phenomenal. Just look at how beautiful that is. It fell down. Then I tried to stake it up, which I had to prune it way back because I broke off a bunch of stems, and I'm really bad when it comes to that stuff. This one's gonna open up. This one is really super cool. When it opens, it will be red. And I think it should be yellow too, but I don't know. It could be just red. Okay. So nothing really exciting here. I'm just trying to keep the rhododendrons alive. They're only 3 years old, so they don't have a strong root system. And this annihilating heat it's really causing them trouble. So I'm probably way overwatering to try to overcompensate to keep them alive, but then at the same time, when you drown out their root system, they can't breathe, which then causes damage. So, you know, I'm not sure if that's just from the heat. It's probably a combination of the heat and overwatering, but I got to do what I got to do. So now we're coming over here to the flower pots. And a couple weeks ago, boy, they sure did look pretty. The canna lily really opened up. I've been trimming back the spikes because they're starting to deteriorate. But when they first open up, like, look at how pretty those yellow flowers are. And is this lobelia or salvia? I don't remember what I've been calling it. I feel like it's lobelia, right? Anyways, these are the little blooms, but when it's done blooming, it still looks cool and has interest in your garden because these spikes are still really pretty. And that's Rennie. Her name is Rennie. We're dog sitting, but I think she looks more like a pearl. Rennie! She's a really old puppy. She's cute. Look how pretty that lobelia looks next to that blue pot. Everything looks gorgeous. And then the wildflower garden, it looks like hell. I mean, it just does. It's a hodgepodge. It's a mess. I couldn't even tell you really what's in here. I know these to be like black-eyed Susan daisies, but they might have a different name. All of the dahlias in this bed have collapsed because I did not stake them, so I just came and chopped them off. So you can see, let's see if you can see I cut them. I didn't even care. The tuber is in the ground, and if they survive for next year, that's awesome. Next year is a new year. I don't know what this thing is, but it's pretty cool looking. These little flowers are like little bells. They sure are precious. You guys might remember me saying, I don't know what any of this stuff is. I just planted it. It said, for the pollinators. So I said, heck yeah. This is not very exciting, but the foliage is kind of cool. Kind of like cactusy, deserty looking. I think it's called hyssop. Something like that. Hyssop. And I think this is also hyssop, but it's totally different. They're like little trumpet flowers. Yeah, the zinnia. The dicanthus, they didn't do squat. I mean, the plant is an inch tall. Not at all what I was expecting. And then these dahlias, again, same thing. I transplanted them from the front to the back, and they've done great. They did put on blooms, but I cut them way back because they were collapsing. Because you can see I put the posts up to tie them up, but then it got like 100 degrees and I just didn't care. So I've been lopping the blooms off to try to keep the stems up. So anyways, I have a lot of advice to give when it comes to gardening, but I wouldn't necessarily bank on just about anything I'm saying this year because it's just been an unusual year. Normally, look how pretty that is. Normally it's really mild. It's nice. It's like 85 degrees and comfortable. Last couple years, we are in a shift and it's terrible. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here. I never did prune that. I just couldn't get around to doing it. I just couldn't bring myself to have enough energy. I can barely tie-dye right now, you guys. I don't know what's going on. It was probably just too hot and a little burnout. And then this pot. This one's on its 3rd year. So this is Tropicana, Canna Lily, and it's gorgeous. And I'm shading it. Let's see if I can get... But the foliage, you know, the blooms are beautiful. It's great. But the foliage is kind of like where it's at. If you were to plant like a row of these in your yard, just imagine how striking that would be. Like, what a statement. But this pot's doing very well. And we can see it from the windows. So I'm just going to end it right there. So there's the garden. And today's a very nice, pretty mild day. Thank goodness. We needed it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And have fun gardening!